What's up YouTube? Mike here with PeoplesChoiceGaming, and today I want to give a really good review on the Titanfall Beta, my real honest opinion, because as you all know, I really raved about this game like most people did because it looked really good. And a little bit of that was probably that we really wanted another good first-person shooter to come out, because whether you love COD or you only like COD, COD's just gotten terrible. That community has died. The game is with every release, the game gets worse and worse. It's just shit anymore, and we just really need a good first-person shooter. And this game looked like it was going to be really good. So the beta's been out for like a week or something. Well, truly, it's a demo. If you understand EA at all, you'll know that they finish a game pretty much and then only let us play pieces of it, call it a beta, but it's actually a demo, guys. They do this with a lot of games. Either way, I've been playing for the whole week. The beta's about to end, and I want to talk about some positives, some negatives, and what I think they definitely need to change if this game is going to succeed. And this is also what most of the big YouTubers have. They've been sharing the same opinion basically, and so is a lot of the gaming community. I made sure to talk to a lot of the people. They all feel the same way, and that scares me even more because this game has a lot of potential and it can be really fun, and I really want to see it succeed. So with the positives, well, I can't really like get into a lot of stuff. Like, there's only a few weapons, couple maps, couple game modes, but from what I've seen so far, the couple maps that were shown were really fun to play. They don't seem too big. A little bigger than normal, but not too big. And they kind of got to be as big as they are so Titans can move around. Graphics are freaking great. The engine is great. The game is really smooth. Not a lot of hiccups, glitches, and bullshit. The game is just super smooth. It ran well on most people's computers that I know. Even with the graphics turned down, they were still able to get a pretty good FPS. And it's really made for next-gen consoles. It shines. It's just a great looking game. They made sure the game didn't get boring, by just running around and spamming killing people and maybe calling in kill streaks or whatever, like COD and some other games that just don't have enough elements. Like, where I'm getting at is there's a lot of new stuff that in this game you don't see in a lot of other games. Like, the mobility is one huge thing that I love. You can climb up any building pretty much. You can double jump, and you can kind of hover because you have a jetpack. You can wall run on buildings, so basically parkour. So you can basically run across the whole map, jumping across buildings, which is super fun. So you can wall run, parkour, you can wall hang. You can jump on enemy Titans to kill them. You can jump out of your Titan. The mobility is just ridiculous, and it makes for a really fun game. So that's all I'm going to talk about with mobility. Just, it keeps the game interesting. Let me see. Weapons. Let's talk about the weapons really quick. There's not going to be enough time for me to really talk about the one main important thing that I think we need to discuss. So we'll talk about the weapons just super quick. Basically, there's a ridiculous smart pistol. I just showed a kill cam of it where an enemy killed me. It is a silenced pistol, that keeps you off the mini-map with a decent fire rate, a ridiculous damage, and if you hip fire it, it auto-locks on the enemy's freaking head. It's so OP and noobish, it needs taken out of the game. It's just stupid. There's my opinion on that. That's all we're going to talk about. The shotgun is really good on this game. It's got too much range. It shoots too fast for how much damage it has. It's like a one-shot shotgun because of the ridiculous damage, but it's got a ridiculous fire rate of a semi-automatic shotgun, and it needs toned down a little bit. That's all we're going to say about that. Carbine, I think the carbine's pretty balanced. The SMG, which I love, I think it does too much damage. Either too much damage or too much fire rate. It's like the MP7. It's got great range. It barely has any recoil. It does a ton of damage, and the fire rate is ridiculous. Now, one of those things has to go. There has to be some balancing there. So, I don't know. No game breakers. Like, I think they'll work on this. those are all the main weapons, pretty much. The sniper rifle I didn't play with enough to really talk about, so I'm not going to get into that. But let's talk about the Titans. So basically, guys, the only problem that I see with the Titans is they're way too easy to get. I mean, they're fun, they're not really OP, and they're not hard to take out, but they're way too easy to get, and you get them way too often. I mean, all you got to do is kill like a few AI and a couple pilots, and you're pretty much on your way to getting a Titan. The average player can get 3-4 Titans easily. I've gotten over 4 Titans in one game. It's just ridiculous. You just get them way too often, and they need to work on that, because it ends up messing up the game in multiple ways. It makes the game too much all about Titans, because for one, the 6v6 thing doesn't work. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. That's going to be the main thing that I want to harp on for this whole game, which I'm not quite going to get into that yet. But the whole 6v6 thing already doesn't work. Maps are too big, you don't run into enemy pilots enough, and then when you got the other team constantly in their Titans because they're so easy to get, it's like, you know, you're always going to be fighting a Titan. Like, it's already hard enough to find pilots, and it's even worse when half the other team is in Titans. And then if your team is constantly in Titans, I found a lot of times that the objectives are being ignored, and your teammates are just running around doing jack shit in Titans. But regardless, it's just too easy to get Titans. You can get them really easy with burn cards, which makes it even worse. And flat out, they need to fix it. And I think one way they could do this is by making them an assault kill streak. So maybe like, now don't quote me on this, but maybe something like this. Like 3 kills without dying, and then you get your Titan. And then you can't have more than like 2 Titans for your team at one time. I think something like that would make the spread better and just balance it all out a lot better. And you'll know what I mean if you've played this game a good bit so far. So the Titans need a lot of balancing as far as how easy it is to get them goes. Now let's wrap it up with my main concern, and most people's main concern. Is there enough action in this game? It seems like the game isn't quite competitive enough, and it's not quite a fun enough arcade game. It kind of like lacks for both types of games, and it falls in a gray area. Basically, the maps are too big for a 6v6 game. Now, I know the maps have to be bigger for Titans to move around and blah blah blah, and I like the maps at the size they are. And the mobility is so good, it's not that hard to get from one end of the map to the other. The maps work for me, but for a 6v6 game, it does not work. If you're an average player, you're probably going to get around 10 to 15 kills. It's going to be hard to consistently get 15 kills, but 10 to 15 kills, come on, that sucks. And even that's kind of hard to get, like an average of 15 kills. And in 100 games, I've only seen 20 kills broken 3 times. I've only seen 3 games where people broke 20 kills. That's just ridiculous. And you know, and even 20 kills isn't that much. So they have to make this game a 9v9 if it's gonna work. It just gets boring so quick. You don't run into pilots enough. The maps are way too big, and the AI is a whole nother thing that I don't want to spend a lot of time on, but all I'm going to say is the AI are just spam. They do nothing for you. They allow you to get Titans too easily. They're dumb as hell. They get in your way. For some people, it's hard for them to even tell what an AI is and what an enemy player is, and even once you get good at that, you still have the problem of where you run into a room and there's 2 enemies, and instincts are just going to say, hey, you better shoot before you get killed. And what happens is you end up shooting the AI, and then the actual enemy kills you, and that's so fucking annoying. And basically the whole thing of it is they get in your way and they do jack shit for you. The AI, I get the whole point of the AI and where they're going with it, but I think it fails. They need to completely take the AI out of the game, add 3 players to each team to make a 9v9, so that there's a lot more instances where you're actually running into enemies, and then I think the game would be a million times better. It won't become as boring, as quick, and I think it'll be a lot more consistent. Hell, there can even be more than 9 players. That might even work, but there has to at least be 9 players. There's no way in hell 6v6 is going to work in this game. It's just way too boring for the competitive player and even for the casual player that just wants the constant entertainment and fun. And most of the community feels this way, and I hope that they understand this. They look at what we're talking about, that they see what we're talking about, and they make this change, because 6v6 is just not gonna friggin' work. Alright guys, I'm gonna head out of here though. Like I've said, I've played a ridiculous amount in the last week, and this game seems to have a lot of potential. It's got a lot going for it. Just great graphics, a really smooth, great engine. The Titans are really fun. The combat's super fun. They added so many elements to make it not just like another first-person shooter, and it's a fun game that could be really, really fun and our next big game. However, as most people agree, it ain't never gonna happen unless they change 2 big things. Like I said, it's gotta become a 9v9. 6v6 is never gonna work. This game will eventually fail or plateau and just never get that big. And I think taking the AI out would be a big improvement, or just lessening it a lot, So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.